Assalamualaikum. Welcome to Sector Spotlight, organized by MCOP. MCOP is a membership-based social enterprise with a mission to create a thriving Muslim business community. It's the power of collective wisdom, continued learning, and thought leadership brought together for Muslims by Muslims. Our core belief is that business leaders thrive when they have access to a supportive community of peers who challenge and inspire each other. Today, will be discovering the power of generative AI with Arshad Khan, who is the founder and chief AI officer at TDM, the DevMasters. Arshad, a visionary entrepreneur with a foundation in computer science and artificial intelligence, has steered groundbreaking tech ventures. His extensive experience from professional tennis to MIT's CSAIL labs reflects a commitment to revolutionize industries through cutting-edge technology. As the founder and chief AI officer, Arshad has led the remarkable transformation of Code Store into Covax Data, a cloud-based AI and blockchain powerhouse. His latest venture, Z1 Data, focuses on property evaluation and portfolio management. Welcome, Arshad.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank
you. Arshad, if you can just briefly give us a little bit background of what you are working on right now.
Thank you. So let me give you a quick introduction of myself. I'm raised in Kashmir, and you posed a very good question, or articulated my background as an athlete. So I'll start with that. Played initially some tennis, perfect ball hitting process, and from there got into electrical and computer science engineering. Started my career from England, education, and from there I pursued. So to talk about who I am and what I do, I've been doing AI since 2000, 2001. Built a lot of companies, worked for corporations like Yahoo and Bank of America. And during this process, I learned one thing, the physical, emotional, and mental transformation of being an athlete was very helpful throughout this process. Now, going back to my entrepreneurial journey, in the beginning, I was a corporate leader at Yahoo and Bank of America. In 2015, I started my own journey and founded something called eSport DNA. Now, eSport DNA was a sports analytics platform as an exit in 2017. And from there, I went to founding what is called TDM today. In 2015 to 17, we had a foundation of it. And it was self-funded as an entrepreneur. And then from there, I went to join MIT Sloan Business School and CSAIL Labs to upgrade myself and get to the next level. During this process, I founded Covax Data, as you mentioned, and Z1 Data, both. So Covax Data was literally founded at MIT campus. The foundation of this company is I was a prime scientist and engineer behind it, something called molecular structure storage, which takes a couple of files, entire section of the file, and store it in a molecular structure like hydrogen, H2O, same things are designed in terms of the file system. I'll talk more detail about that as we go on. So that was Covax, and then I had an exit of Covax in 2021. And this was backed up by ex-Blackstone guys, so it's a very well-funded group. Then during this same process, I was invited to Singapore and Cambodia by another big venture called Zillennium. And they asked me to join them into the real estate AI, where I built Z1 Data, and another company was called Z Finance. So I ended up being chairman of both. Prime focus was to do AI evaluation in residential, commercial, and land in Asia. So we did that, and we're still supporting it. So that was another venture which I'm still continuing. So that was a quick overview of what last few years has been.
All right. Thank you, Arshad, for sharing that. Related to generative AI, it's said that it would be about like a 15.7 trillion economic shift by 2030. What specific ways do you see generative AI revolutionizing industries?
Yeah, thank you for this is very uplifting question for all of us, and this is very what you call new focus for us too. So I'll walk you through a little bit of since I've been doing AI for a very long time, a little bit of background of how we came to Gen AI and what is the opportunity right now. So bots has been there since I started my career in AI 2001, and I was part of building the Yahoo first bot. I cannot claim it mine, but it was for Yahoo. And then the new next thing which we hear in 2010, 28 to 10 with social media growing to an extent where it is right now. Data is the new oil. They started talking on new electricity. During this process, we found out that how data creation of social data has impacted the AI research and development. So this process went and we jumped in 2015 to do this predictive AI, which is called machine learning, predictive modeling, data analytics, machine learning. So we were training the data on based on certain given set, and we predict a certain outcome out of it. So what is this opportunity right now, and what is Gen AI? Gen AI is what we heard it as a common super user in terms of ChatGPT. So what it is behind the scene, it's a pre-trained large language model which has a deep learning behind it. So the evaluation of building bots to predictive model to now we are able to train deep learning on the whole internet. And this took a lot of resources. Technology has been evolving from generation to generation, but resource pool was the biggest challenge, which OpenAI solved it. So you can imagine it took the whole San Diego energy to train one day of OpenAI. So that kind of resource power was required to build something. Now we have Gen AI. Now $15.7 trillion number. This was from McKinsey and Gardner. They came up with these numbers. And if you look at the total GDP of US is or China, the biggest two economy, it's about 70-80% of the total GDP finance involved. Yesterday, I do not know how many of us are following the news. Sam Altman came up with $7 trillion requirement to extend OpenAI to AGI. So the opportunity and excitement is crazy. $7 trillion is if you combine India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and a couple of other countries, still it does not reach $7 trillion. So this is the amount of power going into creating this technology and the infrastructure. Now, what does it mean for us? Everything is impacted. Personally, my experience with .com was in 2001, where this revolution, one we saw is it digitalized the whole industry. Now, Gen AI, I see it same way. It is going to change everything, and it is changing everything from job creation point of view, skill transformation, workforce transformation. 70% of workforce is already impacted. No matter what we do, average Americans are impacted about $14,000, and this is McKinsey numbers, as of 2023 and 2024. So proficiency, automation, use of right technology to generate new contents or analyze what we do. So these are a couple of the things which $15.7 trillion impact is as of today. Now going back to which are major industries which are impacted, I analyzed few of them, and this is all McKinsey backed data. 20% healthcare, 15% finance, 10% education, and 10% real estate. So if we look at the whole corpus of the change, I don't think anything is left behind which we cannot consider as part of this change. So that's what the $15.7 trillion numbers are and how it is transforming our lives.
All right. Since when, yeah, that's definitely a very big number in terms of the change that it would bring. And how do you see traditional industries where we rely a lot on human interaction and intuition, the use of AI?
So it is very important to look at it not only from AI point of view, from the cognitive ability and humans. So traditionally, we have evolved ourselves from Stone Age to wheels to internet to machine age. So how does it impact? I think is everything. But from traditional industry, I don't call anyone traditional anymore because we are digitalized no matter what. So what are the transformation which we need to do as to adopt to this technology is get your data right, get some AI map, get some automation right. And if you look at this from the investment point of view, as an entrepreneurs, we always look, oh, is this good for us? How fast can we adopt this? How fast can we take it? And what are the things we need to do? So if you look this from that perspective, and if you put the numbers, I wish I will have another chance to explain these things. If you look at human transformation versus AI and technology transformations, these are like, if you look at the long-term cost, lifetime value, and immediate cost, it's almost coming to be 50% or less. So if we compare this kind of transformation, then it is, I don't think we have choices around it. So if you want to step down, break it down a step-by-step process, how to do this is it's like what we did digital transformation with websites. You get your act right, you get your strategy right. I will keep it very simple. Get the automation tools right and go for the whole thing end to end.
Okay. Any particular industries that you see where it would not impact?
I think a lot about this topic, like what are the things we can retain from past and move to the future, especially when we are raising our kids and going through that process. There's I don't think so. There's again, I'm biased in many ways because I'm raised in this environment. But human cognitive culture, mathematical thinking, value systems, those things has crossed different industries and different verticals where we are still human race, more glorified, much better. So that's the only thing I can look back from top of my mind, which will not get impacted. Creativity can be outsourced, but it's a different way of creativity. Like the way machines are dreaming right now or creating content, we still have humans to fine tune it and give the touch and feel. So if we look at machine age, when we are able to robotically build even garments, still there's a human creativity reliance. So that factor will not go away for sure. But beyond that, I have a bias to this. I think nothing will be left.
All right. You talked about the healthcare industry in particular, how that is changing. So can you elaborate a little bit on the paradigm shift the AI is bringing in advancements in patient care through data interpretation?
Yes, so healthcare traditionally has few problems. To start with that, privacy, HIPAA compliance, right? How do we get enough data on from AI scientific point of view? How do we have a very specified data for a kid of a 8-year to a 80-year old having similar kind of like say like a bone disorder function or something like this, right? So the challenge which I understood, I'm not a healthcare professional, was the data from the AI perspective. How do we take all these use cases and train AI? AI is nothing more than a glorified super learner which understands the past and predicts the future. So what Gen AI, generative AI, large language models did is they have three abilities to tackle this. Number one is called semantic data generation. Number two is called synthetic data generation and latent diffusion. These are technology terms a little bit, but I'll simplify it. Semantic data generation is when we look at different music style. You are playing a piano, you're playing a guitar, and you're playing a drum beat. A music is created out of these three. So when you take 3-4 images and fusion them together, a new image is created. So if you take at For example, knee problem, right? Most of the elderly people or athletes have this. There's standard knee for every human being, but it varies from 8 years to 12 years to 25 years, and your weight and posture and all those things. So now you don't need from 8 to 12 years MRIs. You can take that MRI and scale it to the age group, gender group, and bias. So you can produce a lot of data out of single image. So where does it leads to us? It leads to us where we can have a hypothetical data, which is like semantically created, like the example I said about music. And the synthetic one is where you are modifying numbers like age, weight of the person, gender of the person. So you diffusion these two together, then you have a big corpus of data where from just, let's say, 100 image, you are able to create millions of it. So what AI will do is it will train on top of this and will be able to recognize this is a future prediction for this kind of situation, and this is possible preventive care. So does it make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely. In terms of the changes that are happening right now, what new skills and roles do you believe would be essential for individuals to thrive in this new era?
Yeah, it's very interesting. I think a lot about these things. So in terms of new roles and responsibilities, or for even someone who is in college or someone who is a new entrepreneur or an existing entrepreneur with multiple industries, it's almost same. Either you have employees or you are a learner. It's starting right now in 2023 was buzzword was prompt engineering or prompting. A generative AI part where we are super users to ChatGPT. But it scales a lot. There's prompt engineering, there's prompt super user, there's prompt template generation. So prompting itself is how do you get into large language corpus, which is OpenAI, and utilize it for your own needs. That's number one. Now, this scales down to if you are a prompt creator, someone who can template a particular persona or particular industry. For example, I want to create a prompt template for a doctor to write a prescription, which is nothing what we do natural language prompting in ChatGPT. So that's an AI engineer. So that's another role. Prompt engineering, now AI engineering. Then you have, that is a big career, and there was a big news in Asia that they are going to retrain 1 million software engineers to AI engineers. So that was, in fact, day before yesterday, I found out and I validated. So this whole...
That's a number for the US market?
No, Asian market, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. Okay. So these are pre-trained engineers who know software, and they will be uplifted. And this is Google and Microsoft combined talking about it, that they are going to retrain their engineers up till 1 million of them by 2024 and 2025. So this is an AI engineering job from the job seeker or industry shift point of view. So what does it mean from the entrepreneur? Bots. Bots, we have known bots in terms of statistical bots, which are like yes and no, those kind of things. Now they are becoming very intelligent to almost replace your customer service, almost replace your template-driven format to a cognitive format. So those things are being, so that's another, researchers have big role. The way we understood research was writing some thesis, understanding data, you come out of a PhD. Now this is more $1.5 trillion research impact by 2030. So now you have an ability with this, you can take 100 white paper and analyze them in not fraction of seconds, but very faster way, and come up with the new innovative way. So the corpus of understanding this thing, reinventing and putting to a new trajectory is totally changed. So that's another one. AI product and product managers and project managers, that's totally reinvented. It is no more like the standard flow. There are a lot of then AI ethical compliance, which is now in just started in discussion. There's lot has to happen. AI automation, I don't think anything will be left, especially in terms of what we call digital transformations. So, uh, uh, like your document management, your content management, your content creation, all this thing is all automation. So this is all impacted. And data scientists and data analysts, I meet a lot of them throughout this process. They have to reinvent themselves to large language models and fine tuning of this big entity which has come to our plate. So I think everything is shifted in my perspective.
Okay. There's a lot of conversations about the ethical AI development. What do you, in your from your perspective, what do you think is crucial in building trust and sustainability using AI?
Yes, so this is very important aspect, and this has been data privacy, ethical use, has been always predominant for multiple years, which I've faced throughout my career. So where is AI right now from ethical consideration? We take privacy, some signups, but there are two ways we approach it. As a practitioner in industry, protection of data is one very big thing, which we do it very seriously. But what does it mean for, I will speak it from all three personas: super user, an engineer, and scientist, and an entrepreneur, right? All these personas. So from the user perspective, you just go through the compliance process, make sure all the audits are there, make sure you got it in legal way, you hold it, right? So that's the users and compliance and business perspective, so that you have a good audit. From the researcher point of view, what we do and doers point of view is we do something called meta extraction, which is we extract something which is intelligent for our machine learning or AI projects. We don't go after people's phone number or social security. That's none of our interest. We want to know the location of the house, what is the neighborhood, does it has a fire station next to it, does it has a beach. So that's the meta extraction part of the AI. So that's what we hold. Now, from compliance and doers point of view, ethical considerations have certain guidelines. For example, in HIPAA or in every industry we have it. In insurance you have it. So we follow that. Then the other part of ethical consideration, which is missed a lot. Let's say I'm training a data which is based in Asia. Most of our AI is done in Singapore and Cambodia and all those states, countries. They have certain bias. The houses, they are not the way we have it in US. It's not very well structured. So when you come out with the predictive score of the house price, it's way different than what I will do it in a very scaled, structured society. So going back, why did I give? There are bias consideration in every data. And when we build these models, we want to make sure from the ethical and compliance point of view, how much is the bias. So in ethical and compliance point of view, if we look at from our community perspective, we are in trouble in one way, because all this data is either trained on major population. So what will be ChatGPT in future? It will be possibly adopt a personality of where billions of users are there, China, India, Pakistan, those. So that's a bias I'm just talking about, right? So how do we reduce this bias is one of the ethical consideration. In a deeper perspective, then you make a transparent AI, which we do it. In terms of transparent AI, this is not our coin product or something. There is a term called XAI, which was invented by IBM. So IBM, Watson, they did amazing job. It's kind of an audit trail, which tracks the biases in the data, which tracks the every layer of processing. So if you came out and said that, Arshad, this prediction, you said it's a cat, but I think it's a tiger. How do you prove it's a cat, right? So I have an audit trail of XAI where it indexes everything as it goes on and give you enough trail base. How did I call it cat rather than a lion or tiger?
Okay.
So those kind of things we use behind the scene to do this. But from the corporation point of view, let's say you are running a very reliable and trustable healthcare company or legal company. Make sure you have your ethical guidelines and principles very well defined from all perspectives. Transfer that to your scientists and engineers. Make them responsible data people. So metadata extraction. Then from there, ensure the transparency, which is required to prove any audit. That's XAI, which I explained. And then another way to cross-check is multidisciplinary. So if you want to check your biases, you can bring some culture diffusion where you are testing against, let's say you build it for Southeast Asia and now you want to test it in US, it should perform different. So get those audit trials and proven that this only work for certain segments and is biased towards certain segments. Multidisciplinary approach or multi-model approach, we call it. So you counter a challenging neuron network within the system to make sure it's doing and reducing the biases out.
Okay. All right. How do you see, you touched upon a little bit on the future of AI. What do you see as particularly in terms of human AI synergy and its impact on driving innovation in various sectors?
Human AI synergy. Can you elaborate a little bit more? Give me a little bit.
So, in terms of how humans and AI, because AI, what we are hearing is that AI is going to overtake the intelligence of human, and so it may it may start taking over the business side of everything that we are doing. So, where do you see how the human and AI would be interacting and in the future, and especially the impact on driving innovation? Would AI be the main element in innovation in the future, or how human would play a role in it?
Yeah, so AI evolved upon time. As I explained before, it was first when I started building AI, we had more of a chip-based where robotics arms were programmed. For one of the projects I did was Rockwell for welding the cars, car automation, which Tesla uses right now most. So from there to a digital part where software started coming, so we call bots, semi-intelligent bots. So from there we evolved to what we call predictive analysis, where we are able to predict an outcome based on past. Then it evolved to where it is Gen AI. So what is the final outcome is we call AGI, Artificial General Intelligence. Now, what does it mean? It means sense making. We as a human being have sense making. So now defining sense making is they're calling digital twin, digital brain, all these factors. But sense making has a lot of components involved: cognitive behavior, biases, our ability to advance. AI is mostly quantitative, very good. If you look at text and numbers, it does very good. But humans are cognitive, very good. So can we catch up to the cognitive sense? Maybe we can. But it will be always an assistance tool to us, which will improve our cognitive sense. If we look at from invention of wheel till today, we have evolved throughout the process. So in my personal perspective, it is very impactful. It's very good. It reduces reduces a lot of social bias and makes the industry very flat. Industry and opportunity very flat. And in simplified way, I can explain like someone was born in China or Africa, does not know proper English, but has an opportunity today to speak, talk, represent himself. So this is a positive use of AI. He can improve everything he wants with this technology, right? So now interface, will we ever go to sense making? That's why Sam Otterman is asking $7 trillion for. He wants to build an AGI for us where we'll be having a digital version of ourselves, and possibly, in my personal opinion, I'm saying, not cognitively advanced, but quantitatively it's very advanced. So we don't need mathematical formulas. We don't need it. Just spill the answer, and our decision making will be evolved based on that. So that's from the human and society growth. From business point of view, it's better every day. It has reduced cost for doing business right now, rather than having to have 15 or 20 people to do certain things. Now you can bring down to two automation engineers and one super user or super researcher who can monitor it. So it is effective, it's better, and it's accurate. So that's how I look at it. We took a big initiative and last year, where we create something. We got a company which was a digital agency. We transformed that company to digital transformation twin. We call DTT, a pure AI transformation, where content generation, everything is fully automated. You have human to give a human touch. Beyond that, it produces an output to a very good ability. So that's one of the uses. Other thing, I'm doing a lot in the medical field right now, experimenting a lot of things. Closest one I've got is if you give a rash on your skin, some simple rashes, we can tell what it is and describe preventive care, and also sensitive. It has to have a doctor intervention. That was one. In 2019, we were able to, 19 to 21, we were part of one project for drug addiction. And this one was very interesting. The person behind it, they deployed in almost 200 plus clinic in South Africa. And their goal was to pep talk the drug addict. And we changed it to asking right questions. And then we came up to, it was semi-intelligent, not what Gen AI is today, where we were able to predict the right question. Does he needs a pep talk, or he needs a 911 call, or he needs a therapist? So we turned the wheel that way. So that's natural language generation, which is part of questioning. So that's a human interaction and how positive use is. Negative side, hacking is real. You can crash the whole economy. If you got the right tools, you can crash companies. So all we know, credit card fraud is real. It's $8 billion a year or something to and fro. I don't know the exact number. So those things are also real. So does it make sense?
Yep. No, definitely. So my last question to you is, we have at MCOP, which stands for the Muslim Chamber of Business, all of our members are business owners. Some are smaller, some are very large enterprises. What advice would you give them regarding AI adoption and future-proofing themselves in a rapidly evolving digital landscape?
So I will give a disclamation. I have a lot of bias against what I speak because I'm in this field. So don't judge me on my biases, but I feel we should run as fast as possible. Why to be left behind? Upon time, we have seen from wheel invention till .com, we resist adoption partial because it's human nature. But this one, I think, is going faster, very faster. You can say not to the light speed, but exponential speed. So if we turn, like, for us, I've been in AI whole life and AI business for seriously 9 years. And I say exponential change, it multiplier factors are exponential. So 2023, when pandemic ended, we realized what the hell this OpenAI is. Though I experimented first time in 2018. The first model was called Gemini, Gimsum, sorry, not Gem, I apologize. So we thought, it's something, we'll look at it in future. And now it's in our face right away. So it has changed my real estate. It has changed the whole trajectory for our team too. The good news is we reduce a lot of human factor out of it, and we are fully automated to get more productivity. So that's one factor. And being in AI industry, it shocked to us too how fast this is moving. Now, to give a use case, we were limited with our testing tools. We were limited with our ability to outreach. We were limited with our capacity. We are also a small business. We are not $1 trillion business. So we were limited with a lot of these things. But now I can generate a persona of millions of data if I want to test my products, to scale them and diffusion testing. I can do a lot of those things before I reach out to the customer. So it reduces a lot of cost for us, for the customer itself. Now for the business community, I would say go as fast as possible. That's my approach. Automation is real, which has evolved from the industry. Adopt to this automation and innovation ASAP, and now come up with this is cheaper, better, and faster if we know the right tool, right people. So build your AI squad, or whatever way you want to call it, and then have a clear strategy how to X-factor 10 to 100 times using these tools. The first shot may not come right, but I'm sure third or fifth shot will come right. It's not AI problem or technology problem, it's the transformation problem. Who you bring in and what they do with it and how deep they are in. So come up with your strategy, build your infrastructure right, get it ready, get your AI culture, mind shift and training, some involvement, get your ethical parameters been step very well broken. It's very easy, and I face this all the time, including my employees. They started writing emails using bot. And the most funny one is performance evaluation. I gave a pointer where you need to improve, and this guy writes 17 methods, including he will do a psychological evaluation of his direct report. I said, where did you come up with this? This was ChatGPT telling him, and he submitted at his performance evaluation. So you can imagine this kind of things are. So we have to have a proper culture and ethical guideline that when to use it, how to use it. So that was it. Plan the integration and scalability. I think X1,000 factor is a dream, but it is true right now. And then engage into AI community. I will just highly, again, I have bias to it, run as fast as possible and take advantage of it. The faster we go, the faster we grow.
You talked about the AI community. Are there any resources that you would recommend for people to subscribe to or get more information about AI and what's being done?
I'm doing a lot of work myself. I host webinars and this and that. That's one way to be in touch with us. But in general, I usually use all the open source possible, like OpenAI. There are a lot of bots. No more we go to Google anymore. There's Plexi, one of the very popular bot, which does the Google job better than that. Research point of view, from the doers or doctors or PhDs, learn the combined models where you can upload a lot of PDFs and do the research faster. That's how I use it, and these are all AI tools. Now, from the creative point of view, there are thousands of tools coming every day. Image creation, video creation, as a practitioner doing this actively for almost now 2013, very active, almost 12 to 15 hours a day. There are a lot of bad tools too, and there are a lot of bad like marketing. So evaluate that, make sure that you are not wasting time on those things. It looks very fancy, or it can modify the image and this and that, but stick to the basics, right? That's all I can say. Makes sense?
Yeah, definitely. So thank you so much, Arshad, for being here with us. I know we went a little bit over time on it, but thank you for sharing all the information, and I really appreciate it. For our listeners, if you want to get in touch with Arshad, you can find him on LinkedIn, and you can connect there and ask any specific questions that you may have regarding your particular company and how to involve AI in processing and putting together the structures in the company that can give you an output of like 10 times or 20 times better than what you're doing right now. So thank you, Arshad, again, and looking forward to hearing more from you related to AI.
Thank you, Kashif, and thank you, everyone. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamualaikum.